boys and girls, we are going to do, it's not really a full review of the T28, just some gameplay. I haven't done this one since it was buffed up. I did look, and you'll hear me talking about it in the post-game stats. This got a buff in the hit points and patch 9.13. So 9.13, it went from 1,150 hit points up to 1,500 hit points. I I was trying to find out. I guess I made the. Let me go ahead and change the volume on the tanks because I think I made the volume on the tanks a wee bit too loud now. So where do we have vehiculars? Try that there. I guess that's a little bit better. You can hear me and you can hear the tanks. Actually, that's still kind of loud. If you guys think I'm taking the volume down too much, let me know and I'll bump it back up. That seems still really loud. At least for me it does because it's obviously right in my ears. Okay, so anyways, at 9.13, it went from 1,150 hit points to 1,500 hit points. The gun on this thing is phenomenal. It's the same gun that goes on the T34 Tier 8 American Heavy Tank, except for on the T34, your load time is like 11 and a half, 12 seconds, something like that. On this, it's like I think it's 7.5 seconds. This thing has got a wicked fast reload with a gun that's got a hell of a punch. This gun, you can compete against tier 10s with this gun easily. The armor on this is kind of pitiful in a way. It says 254 frontal armor, but pause it real quick and show you. It's really the gun mantle. This is where your 254 millimeters of armor is. I believe your front plate's only like 203. It's not very thick. It's not too hard for, tier 8s and tier 7s to punch through. Some tier 6s might have some trouble with it. This matchmaker couldn't have been better for me. I mean, top tier in this tank destroyer. With the speed boost they gave it, this thing, it's so much better to play, so much more, I want to say more fun to play. I'd like to see, that's the one I wanted to see, was where that T150 hit me with a standard round to pen me. Oh, he put it right here in the commander's hatch. I thought he hit, usually if you get hit in those cheeks on the side there, a lot of times it'll pen. That was a pretty good shot considering the T150 is very inaccurate. At first I was going to stay up high and I thought, I'm going to go down low and help these guys because I saw the A44 is almost dead. T150 is, well, one of them's half dead and the other one's not doing too hot, so I thought I better get down here and help these guys. So I saw the IS. My shot and somebody else's shot hit almost identically at the same time, and we took the IS out. But it was a good idea that I came down this way instead of staying up high, because the T25-2's up there and he's almost dead. KV2, T150, and I think something else comes down here. Oh, SG1. No, that's on the other side there. Yeah, but our team was kind of full. I was trying to push this T150 out of the way so I could take the hits for him. So I ended up taking out pretty much everything that was down here. That's what's so great about this thing, is the gun is so fast. Reload, 7.85 second reload. And a gun that goes on a tier 8 tank destroyer goes on the T28 prototype, the T34, you can see that the Americans had a good thing going with this gun. It's got really good pen, really good alpha. I think it's like, this is where I saw all they really had left up here was an artillery, a couple arties, and a tank destroyer. I saw these guys coming around here, this guy over here, this guy here, and I thought, this is a lot faster than it used to be, but it's still not fast like a fast moving heavy. Still, I mean, I'm doing 21, 22 kilometers an hour, which is pretty good. But this T25 was backing up. He was kind of crapping bricks when he saw that TD there. So far we've only been penned one time by the T150 that hit the commander's hatch on this. We're up to 2,254 damage, 525 spotting damage, or excuse me, blocked from our armor, and 124 spotting damage. So we're having a real good match in this. Even when you're bottom tier on this, obviously if I was bottom tier, I wouldn't be playing so aggressive with it. Bottom tier, you kind of want to stay back further and punch through stuff, when you got shots that are kind of given to you. Bottom tier, 1,500 points is still pretty good, but pretty much everything's going to pen this because 203 millimeters of front armor on the lower plate. Pretty much every tier 10 is going to go through that. Most tier 9s will go through it no problem. Most tier 8s will go through it no problem. But you can see the aim time on this is pretty good. Pretty darn accurate, too. I was hoping that Tiger 131 was going to sit there for me, but he decided to move. I get a shot on him here in a couple of seconds, or about 30 seconds, and finish him off. But, yeah, when you're top tier in this thing, you can really kind of bully your way around. You got to watch to make sure you got some sort of backup, though. That way, if a couple mediums or light tanks get around on your sides or your back, then you're in deep trouble. So, even though I was able to start bullying these guys, it's just you don't want stuff to get on your rear and your sides because you'll get finished off pretty darn quick. But you gotta love the reload on this. I mean, it's just so fast, and I mean we're looking at that's gotta be premium. Yeah, 297 is the premium round, and 248 is the standard round penetration. So it's got just great penetration. I mean, I could have got away with not shooting my first round as a premium. I just do that as just a habit. That way, you always make sure you pen that first round and make sure you do some type of damage. I mean, if I went let's say I went down the way I did at the beginning of the match, and no one went that way, and I got butt raped, but I got one shot off. At least I got one shot off of damage. So you can see when you hit hills, still slows down substantially, but once you're on a straightaway or a small incline, you're going to maintain that 22 kilometers an hour pretty good. So this is pretty much the end of it. I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. All that's left is that UD's 03. And lucky ducky me, I was able to pop over and get a shot in his little butt there. So that's the end of the match. So at patch number 9.13 is when it went from 1,150 hit points to 1,500 hit points, and it was a well-needed buff for the hit points because of the speed of it. Even now, you still get hit with artillery. It'll still mess you up pretty bad because the top of this is, I mean, obviously, look how big. It's a long, wide target, and the top armor is pretty thin. And your front armor, I think it's 254, but that's basically this area right around your gun mantlet. Your front plate is, I believe, still only 203. So they could really still give this a little more of a buff on the frontal armor. I think they ought to make the whole front of this thing 254 to equal the gun mantle, because you can see that front plate is not really sloped that well. It's almost straight up and down. So 203 is straight up and down armor. Pretty much everything, it's going to pen it pretty easily. You saw the T150 with a standard round which I believe is 175, might be less than that. I'm not really sure. I know it's not really that good, but he was able to pen right through this commander's hatch. And the gun on that on the T150 is very inaccurate, slow aim, and it's very inaccurate. So for him to hit that, I was actually pretty shocked. I don't know if he's got like a super good crew in that thing or what. I mean, I've got a one mark of excellence on it, and I think I've got on mine, on my T115, I think I've got probably around 300 matches, give or take, in it. And my aim time is still ungodly slow, and it's still inaccurate. So, anyways, if you want to hold on for a minute, I will be back with some post-game stats for you. One last thing before we go to the post-game stats. I forgot I wanted to tell you guys. The 131, the new Tier 6 heavy tank that just came out in the premium shop, the Tiger 131. I'm not going to purchase that tank because basically I already purchased that tank with the heavy tank number 6. The stats are identical. Yeah, it looks cool. The background of that tank is really cool. It's the only surviving Tiger tank anybody has that runs and blah, blah, blah. So it's got a lot of historical value. I do collect tanks, and it's only like 20 bucks. I know that, but I might buy it if it's still in the premium shop down the road. But at this time, I'm gonna hold off. I mean, I've got the heavy tank number 6, and it's literally identical. Everything. It's both of them are tier 6s. Same, pretty much everything to almost to a T, except for obviously the camo pattern with the 131 and whatnot. So I can't see spending the 20 bucks right now on it. Like I said, maybe down the road, but I'm not going to be doing a review on that because I've already done a review on the heavy tank number 6, which is identical to the Tiger 131. So I do apologize about that. Like I said, I might do one later on down the road, if I decide to get it. So, if I do, I'll try and let you know in advance. So, anyways, like I said, if you want to hold on for a minute, I'll have some post-game stats for you. Alrighty, so here's the results of that match, and you can see since the T28's been buffed up, it's definitely kind of a force to reckon with, especially when you're top tier like I was in this match. Cooks right along. I was keeping right up with, I think it was OI Experimental, OI, something that was on our team, one of the big slow moving Chinese tanks. But yeah, so we had a good match. It was a Master Badge Class 2, Fighter, Fire for Effect, and a High Caliber. We hit the Udi's 03 at the very end of the match there. Knocked out his ammo rack, but he was a one-shot anyways with all 21 hit points left and finished him off. Hit the IS for 418. I actually thought I finished him off, but guess not. Unless there was more than one. No, there wasn't. Looks like I lit the Panther M10 up and somebody hit him for 24 hit points, and I bounced one of his rounds for 135. Lit up the SU 122-44 when he was coming around the corner there. Looks like somebody hit him for 100 when I spotted him. Bounced one of his rounds for 390 and hit him for 400. T25-2 hit him for 401. Hit the KV2 for 393 and finished him off. Hit the T150 twice for a total of 642, finished him off. Hit a Tiger 131 twice for 692, finished him off. And hit a Jackson for 425 and knocked out his gunner. So we got 3,392 damage, 4 kills, and experience of 968. Pretty good results. We had 10 shots, 10 hit, 10 pen. Shot 1 premium and the rest were standard. So 3,392 damage, 1,117 of that at 300 meters or more. Got hit 3 times, 1 pen, 2 bounced. Damage blocked by armor was 525. Spotted 2, damaged 8, destroyed 4. Damage with our assistance was 124. We did travel quite a bit, 2.12 kilometers. We went all the way down by the water, kind of usually where the heavies clash and the big TDs. Then I kind of noticed that I think it was a better idea that I turned around just in case there was a Tiger over there, T25-2, a couple other things that could have very well come around and got on our cap, but I didn't want to get capped out. This is a lot faster, but it still isn't fast. I mean, it's not like, uh, you know, a fast moving heavy or a medium or anything. So I made 45,722 credits. After they repaired the vehicle and resupplied the ammo, we still made 28,432. So this thing is definitely, since the buff, a lot better. The speed is really terrific. Um, excuse me. The thing I was actually kind of surprised about when I got looking is the difference in hit points compared to its brother, the T28 prototype. This has 1,500 hit points now. The T28 prototype with a turreted, which is a turret tank destroyer, only has 1,150. Given the turret does turn almost all the way around, it does not go all the way around. It traverses to 143, 143. So basically, I guess the best way to look at it is if you're bringing your gun around this way, it can get almost to the back side of here and over here. It just misses this little area right here, which is kind of nice. So it'd be nicer if it spun all the way around, but no such luck. But when they buff this up, I don't know if that's when they buffed up the hit points or if that was a previous buff. The last buff they did on this, I know they definitely buffed up the speed. Obviously, this T28 Proto and the T95 all got a buff. The T28 prototype, I did a review on it after it got buffed, and I believe I did the T95. This one I had not done yet, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that today. I'm going to take a peek before I do the actual play the gameplay there for you, and I'm going to look and see when they did do the hit point buff and see if I can find out what other buffs they did to it. I think it's always had some pretty thick hull armor. I don't know if it was 254 thick, but I know it was pretty thick. I thought it used to be like 201 or 210, but I'll look and see what I can come up with. So anyways, I hope you did enjoy this review. If you did, please click the like button down below and subscribe to the channel. You guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.